thank you, Dr. Zulman, for the introduction. Okay, so good morning, everyone. All right, and then Assalamualaikum. Okay, let me firstly introduce myself. Okay, so I am Rahmat bin Abdul Wahid. Okay, so I am 35 years old this year, and then I have 8 years of experience teaching physics for foundation and diploma programs. Okay, so I am from College of Engineering, COE, and also seconded to Digital Learning Unit, DLU, CAFEL, which stands for Center for Academic Advancement and Flexible Learning. All right, so I am a BL pilot agent since 2016, and then I have received teaching awards twice in 2016 and 2019, and I've also done a bit of teaching and learning research on its BL implementation. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to share my screen now. Okay, so this is actually the first out of 3 module. All right, so we have in total 3 module for Brighten training. So for the first part, it is going to be get to know Brighten, and the second part is going to be regarding its activity, and then the third part is going to be about advanced calculated question. So it has been separated into 3 parts. So the first part is going to be rather basic, okay, and then this is going to be a combination between Brighten or Moodle administration as well as teaching with Brighten. Okay, so I have introduced myself just now. Okay, and then this is actually the login page for our Brighten. Okay, and then this is going to be the module that we're going to go through for today's session. So we're going to start firstly with its introduction, and then right away we're going to be looking at the backup and restore. Okay, and then we're going to take a look at some modification that we can do on the layout and the course page setting. Okay, I know this is rather basic, but the right way of doing it can be very helpful because it is not going to create issues when you want to implement it in the following semester. All right, so in the second part, we're going to take a look at the student participation. For example, there's a need to know what is actually meta-link, so which is actually combining sessions between for example more than one Brighten page. For example, if you're teaching labs, so it is going to create for example 4 sections. You are assigned 4 sections, and there are going to be 4 sections in the Brighten. So it is going to be very time consuming and a redundant work if you want to replicate the same course page for all of the 4 sections. So we can save time by firstly using this meta link. All right, so where the other 3 sections can refer to the first section, the first section of the course page. Okay, and then afterward, we're going to take a look at student enrollment. For example, if you want to add them manually, and then also regarding grouping. So grouping here is rather important because some assessments, such as assignment submission, you're doing it in a group of 3, for example. So you can just set this grouping setting inside of Brighten so that only one of the student can submit for the team. All right, so moving on, we're going to take a look at question bank management. This is something that we overlook at. Normally, we just focus on the types of questions. Okay, so the most important part I would say is actually the question bank management, which is actually setting up the categories. So this is going to be very helpful if you want to, for example, create random questions that is going to be specific according to your needs. For example, you want to set the first question to be a question related to only the definition of terms. Okay, and then the second question is going to be about the application. So you can set two categories of question, and then you can choose the random question from these two categories. All right, because normally when people use random question in the assessment or quiz, what happened is the random question is going to select all one question from all of the question bank. All right, so moving on, we're going to take a look at grading in assignment and grading in assessment. Okay, and then we're going to take a look at how we can export the grades and also the samples for ISO files purpose. Okay, and then organize the exported grades and sample in Microsoft Excel. Okay, and then at first, this workshop is designed for a full day course, but because the mode has been transformed to online, okay, and then it's intended to be a hands-on physical workshop, and then another one, it's compressed to now from full day to 4 hours. I hope we can cover all of this topic, and then just as the admin in the chat mentioned, if you have any question, you can just ask right away. So the process here, I'm going to tell the what of, for example, what is backup, okay, and then the how, okay, how can we do that, and then afterwards I'm going to demonstrate it, okay, and then you can just ask if you have problems when you are doing it before, okay, and then we can try to rectify the issue together. Okay, so let's get to know Brighten first. Okay, its introduction. So Brighten, in its originality, it is actually Moodle. I feel like this is rather important things to highlight, because when we interact with non-Unitan staff, when they say, do you use Moodle? And then we have the tendency to say, oh no, we don't use Moodle anymore, we use Brighten. But that is rather incorrect, because Brighten itself is actually Moodle. It's a purposed Moodle. Okay, so let's take a look at its definition. So Moodle stands for Modular Object Oriented Dynamic Learning Environment. So it is a software, okay, so it is an LMS, a learning management system, which is an online learning platform for the administration, documentation, tracking, reporting, and delivery of educational courses, training programs, or learning and development programs. So when we talk about Brighten, yes, we are still using Moodle, okay, but we have set some new parameters, and then it has been properly designed to suit our needs, the Unitan staff need. Okay, so that is Brighten LMS. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to start now with the first part, which is going to be the introduction. So under the introduction part here, we have backup, restore, and then it should be about layout and course setting. Okay, but let's take a look first at Brighten Dev. Okay, so first of all, what is backup? So a course backup or a site backup is this setting, okay, where you can save your Brighten page, for example, from special semester. So now that when you enter semester 1, you don't really have to set all of the things from scratch. So meaning that you can just copy the course and then apply it to the Sem 1. Okay, so this is very important because it is going to be time saving for you. All right, so as you can see here, this backup can be restored to bring a course back to the point in time when the backup was made. So something that we have to bear in mind is that when we do backup, it is going to save everything except for the student data. So for example, if you already set assignment as well as assessment, such as quiz or even online tests, when you do the backup, it is not going to include the student names, the student attempts, and their grades. And then when you restore it in the next Brighten page, for example, as mentioned, from special semester now to semester one, what happened is you're going to see that the quiz or the assessment is going to be having no attempt at all. So you're not going to be confused with attempts brought from previous semesters. Okay, so after you do the backup, for example, you should be teaching in semester one, and then something happened, and then the class is cancelled, it is not offered. You can still do the editing at this website, which is dev.brighten.unitan.edu.my. Okay, so you can edit your course, and then again you can do backup and restore before you can actually apply it to the intended semester. Okay, so with that, we're going to take a look now at the Brighten course page. Okay, so this is the login page. Okay, so what you need to do is you have to put in your ID, all right, your email ID here. Okay, so for example, for me, my email is rahmatw@unitan.edu.my. So I just put in rahmatw, and then I just use password, the same password that you use to log in all of the other online services in Unitan here, such as the Outlook. So use your Outlook password, and then you just click login. So you will enter, okay, your first page is going to be this dashboard. So this is the dashboard. So you can see recently accessed courses, as well as all of the courses that has been created for you. Okay, so when we progress to the next semester, the previous semester will be hidden from the student. Okay, but you still can access it, okay, in order to take a look at the course, as well as look at the attempts for assessment that has been done by the student, to save the attempts for ISO file sampling. Okay, so this is the Brighten course page. Okay, so now when we apply Brighten here, we don't have to create the course page. Previously, when we use the unnamed Moodle, okay, the previous version of Moodle, we can create course, okay, but now it has been created automatically, and then all of the students is going to be updated, okay, or the learners, okay, is going to be updated automatically into the course page. Okay, so let's take a look now at the course setting. Okay, so this is the layout. Okay, and then you can click turn editing on. Okay, it means that now you can play around with the arrangement. Okay, and then you can hide things that you don't want. Okay, and then you can always click this turn editing on and off. Okay, the turn edit when we turn editing off. Okay, so this is going to be the view that the student can see. But if you really want to take a look at how the student can see, you can just click at your picture at the top right corner. Okay, and then you can just click switch role to. There are, in this case, 4. Okay, but normally we're going to be using either lecturer view, which is the one that we normally see, or just now. Okay, and then we can also take a look at how the student will view the course. Okay, so this is how the student can view the course. Okay, so you can return back to your normal role. Okay, just click at your picture, okay, and then return to my normal role. So now you can do the editing. Okay, so let's take a look at the course setting. All right, so this is in general. So click the gear icon at the top, okay, which is this one. Okay, and then you click edit setting, the first menu. Okay, so as you can see here, the course full name, actually you can edit it if you don't like the total full length of the name. All right, but it is not advisable. But if you want, you can. All right. However, the course short name, this you cannot edit, as well as the course ID number. Okay, so here it is very important to set the course start date, because if you set your Brighten to be in the weekly format, okay, the first week is going to be the same as the course start date. Okay, so and then obviously the course visibility here is under hide setting or hidden. It has been hidden because this is from my previous semester. Okay, so let's take a look now at you can put the course summary, okay, and then you can also put the course image, okay, in the banner. So if we take a look back at the courses, okay, or my courses here, um, the default the default course banner is going to be this generic picture, but you can change it to make it easier for you to find the course by changing the course image. So this course image normally it's around 600 to 600 times with 400 dimension. Okay, and then you can just upload and then save the image, and then it will appear in this form. Okay, so moving on, the course format as mentioned, you can use normally we can use either weekly format or topics format. So previously, I have the tendency to use topic format because I designed my Brighten course page to be topic 1, topic 2 until the final topic of the course. Okay, but definitely you can change it to weekly format. I find it to be a lot easier to use weekly format because I can assign the activity such as um, exercises or quiz specifically on that week. All right. So that is the difference between topic format and weekly format. But regardless, whichever you find it to be useful, you can use the format. All right. So it doesn't really change much. It's just that the top of the block, it's either going to be in date forms or for weekly form, and then the topics format is going to be topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, and so on. Okay, so you can change the course setting here, and then if you are not sure with the setting, you can always click at this icon here to find the explanation. Okay, so whenever you are unsure of the setting, you can always click at this icon, okay, this question mark icon to find the explanation for each of the setting. Okay, so normally for the course setting, it's not much. It's if you receive the course page, it has been open. So just change the course start date if you want to use weekly format. If not, you can just leave it as it is, okay? And then obviously, by default, it is going to be in topic format. So you can change it to weekly format if you find it more suitable for your course. Okay, and then the rest, I would say it's rather the same. So you can just, afterward, just click save and display. So that is a bit about the course setting. Okay, so when you receive your course, Brighten course page, definitely it's going to be an empty course. Okay, so I'm going to share with you an example of an empty course. Okay, so for example, okay, this is the Brighten course page at the very early semester. Okay, normally it is going to be created 1 week prior to the semester start. Okay, so you're going to be seeing the course name. Okay, and then we have the announcement activity here, and then we have the topics. Okay, so as always, what you do is you can click on the edit setting. You can change the course start date. Okay, for example, let's start today for August. Okay, and then afterward, I'm going to change the course format to weekly format. So you can click save and return and save and display to implement the changes. So as you can see here, the topics has been changed to now weekly from the start date, okay, and then count 7 days afterward. Okay, so from 4 August to 10 and then 11 and so on. All right, so I'm going to share with you, this is my course page, okay, from previous semester. Okay, so at the very first week, okay, I start with this introduction, okay, and then I have also included some resources here, and then this is going to be the activities, okay, that the student need to do according to the week, okay. So definitely it is going to be a hassle to do it over and over and again for each semester. So what you can do is you can use the backup tools, okay. So in your previous semester Brighton, you go to this gear icon again, and then you click backup. All right, so we're going to download this course page and then apply it to the other semester. So I'm going to click back up here, okay, and then this is the backup settings. Again, as mentioned, all of the course content is going to be included except for the student data, but definitely you can filter out some of the things that you don't want, such as you can see here, you can either include or exclude comments and badges and so on, but you can just straight away jump to final step here, and then it will perform this backup. It will prepare the downloads, the downloadable file. Okay, so we're going to have to wait a bit here. All right, so it's not that long, but definitely if you have more content, if you put a lot of content in your course, definitely it's going to be taking a lot longer time. So it has completed the course backup. All right, so what you have to do is definitely click continue, and then you will see this private files. Okay, so you can take a look at the time because understandably the backup here is not going to be showing I would say the exact name of the course. So it is actually according to, if you look, according to the semester, and then according to the course or the class name here. Okay, so if you have several backup from several semester, you can at least now refer to the time of the backup. So definitely we normally do the backup at the end of the semester. So what you can do is you can download this document. All right, so it is going to appear in your downloads, okay, and then we go to the course page, okay, that is created for the following semester, and then you click the gear icon again, and then you click restore. All right, so you click restore, okay, and then just focus at the top. All right, choose a file. So you go to the download, the download file. So choose file, okay, attachment, and go to the downloads, okay, and then this is the backup file, and then choose the file and then click open, okay, and then you click upload this file. And again, definitely it's going to take a bit of time, and then you can just go back to the course page. Okay, sorry, click restore. Okay, so this is the things that is going to be included in the new course. Okay, click continue. Sorry. Okay, click next, and then perform restore. So actually, because this is a newly created Brighten course, that is why there is some setting regarding the placement of the course, where it must be placed, for example, under which college. But if the Brighten course page has been created for you, you don't have to go through that process. All right, so you just click next and then perform restore. Okay, process. Okay, and then you have to wait a bit, and then you're going to be seeing the course to be identical as the one that that is actually from the previous semester. Okay, so that is how you do backup and restore. Okay, and then if, for example, you are not teaching on that semester, you can use that files. Actually, you can use that file, and then you can edit it using the Brighten dev. Okay, so while waiting, so now we have completely restored the course, okay, into the new one. Okay, so as you can see here, all of the content is going to be identical. Okay, all of the content is going to be identical, and then all of the assessments, such as quiz and assignment, we're going to have it should be 0 attempts. Okay, so there's no attempt in the assessment. Okay, so you can use all of the assessment as well as the content definitely for the following semester for the new section or for the new student. Okay, so moving on, we can edit the restore file or the backup file in this website, which is Brighten dev. Okay, so this is the link. All right, so this is the address. Okay, dev. We have brighten.unitan.edu.my. Okay, and then you just put in your username, the same username as well as password. Okay, and then click login. Okay, so this is an example of the course. Okay, so let's say again you can create a course in the dev Brighten here. Okay, and then you can also perform restore here. So just
Ahmad,
click yes.
apa tu, link tu masukkan dekat chat boleh?
Boleh saya masukkan sekarang
Okay, lepas tu, so how everyone, is it very fast ataupun is okay? Kalau okay, thumb up. Tengok sebab I tengok macam laju je. Semua okay lah. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can
So
continue.
okay. All right. Thank you, Dr. Zul. Okay. So here. Okay, sorry yang saya nervous main sebab tengok ada kamera tengok saya tu kan. So I just switch off the camera. So I think I'm going to be better now. All right. So in the in dash Brighten here, you can click again the gear icon. Okay, and then you can click restore. All right. Okay, and then it is the same method. Choose a file, and then we're going to choose a file from the downloaded file in our computer. All right, choose file and then click the file that we have downloaded just now. All right, we are uploading it to dev Brighten here. So upload file, okay, and then just click restore. All right, so this is the usual step, the same steps with the actual Brighten, okay, and then here, actually it's already been wait, there's some issue here. Okay, so I'm going to repeat again. Click restore, okay, and then choose the file. Okay, in the meantime, while waiting, do you have any questions so far?
Soalan boleh tanya.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Siapa ya?
Kak Mei ni.
Kak Mei, hai. Hai
Kak
Kak
Mei
Mei.
online ni tak berapa pandai. Nanti kalau Mei tak tahu Kak Mei cari Rahmat kat bilik
Boleh, and then it's so nice to hear your voice.
Rahmat je pasal kat me join. Okay.
Itulah banyak kali invite. I saw your name replying attend for all of the invites, right?
Betul attend. Kecuali yang ada semalam ada yang dekat PRN next week tu tak boleh tak boleh nak attend sebab nak
Yang
bagi nak mengundi. Okay.
itulah.
So
Itulah
good
yang
luck
minggu depan tu kan. Alright, thank you. Tapi kalau Kak Mi ada soalan boleh tanya tau.
Okay, right.
Alright. I see Dr. Vatana is raising her
Okay,
hand. Yes.
just a quick one. I don't know, I missed out your statement tadi. So the development ni, why you already uploaded into the current semester kan Brighten, then you put it into development. Did you? I didn't get why did you do twice? Yes, but tadi you already restore in the current Brighten, right?
Yeah, correct. So I'm sorry about that.
But the development is for the
Development
one
is
you're doing
for
future.
For example, let's say while waiting for the next semester course page to be uploaded or
okay.
created. Okay.
So you do it in advance, yeah?
Yeah, we do it in advance
Okay.
because it takes time, right, for the Brighton page to be, created. Sometimes it's actually like 2-3 days before the semester start. So that's why we use the dev dash Brighton here.
Okay. All right. You prepare everything in that, and then you post it, you upload it into the current one when the semester starts lah.
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right.
All
Thanks.
right. Thank you for the question. Yeah, so that's the reason why I show you twice. One is actually when we have the actual condition, when we have finished the semester, we do backup, we perform backup, okay, and then like 1 week before the semester start, the new semester Brighton course page is going to be created, so you can just quickly restore it. Okay, so you don't really have to do much. So everything is going to be rather identical. The content is going to be the same. But while waiting, I understandably we know that sometimes it's going to be created quite late, all right? So or you want to do it earlier beforehand, you want to be proactive, you want to edit the content, you can obviously do it from the previous semester Brighton page, or you can do it in the dev-brighton.unitan.edu.my. So that is why I show you this view here. So any question from the rest? Hai, Doktor, ada soalan apa? Dr. Zaimah ada soalan ke?
Sorry, saya
tertekan kot.
tertekan.
Tertekan. Itulah kita semua pun macam
Sorry,
tertekan kan selepas.
Macam mana nak buat ni? Kena tekan
Saya-
apa balik?
Saya boleh lower hand kot. Pergi dekat icon tu balik. Lepas tu klik balik yang tangan tu sebelah kanan tu.
Raise your hand tu, klik balik. Raise
Saya
tu,
boleh-
yang raise tu dekat sebelah people tu.
Ada?
Ada.
Okay dah.
Okay. Okay. So okay. So I feel like it is important to do the backup and restore because previously when I was doing or Brighton or Moodle, it's going to be very time consuming to create the same, obviously, the same course over and over again. And then actually you can do more, you can explore more actually. If for example you only want to actually backup and assessment, for example quiz. Okay, you can just go to the activity quiz, for example, you can just click edit, okay, and then edit setting, and then you can actually just in this case you can only download the quiz, and it can also be used to other lecturer. You can also share the quiz to other lecturer. So to do that, you can obviously click turn editing on, okay, and then go to the quiz, for example, or the activity. All right, so you can just click edit here. Sorry, you have to go to the quiz first. Okay, you just click at the quiz, sorry. So for example, if you want to share quiz 1, with your click, you just click at the quiz one, okay, and then you just click at the gear icon, and then you can in this case you can backup only the quiz, okay, and then the file can be used by other lecturers or by your colleague. All right. So understandably, sometimes we do teach the same subject with different lecturers for different section. So you just click, you just click backup. All right. Again, you can just jump to final step. Okay. And then you can download the document. Okay. This is going to be the downloaded document. So it means that my quiz, as you can see here, it falls under this category activity. All right. So you can just download and then you can email the document to your colleague. All right. So your colleague can download it. Okay. And then you can, import the document, and then it's not going to change the entire course, but on just the quiz one will appear in your friends or in your colleagues' Brighten course page. So I hope that is also helpful. For example, if you want to do online assessments, okay, the assessment can be shared from one Brighten course page to the other. Okay, so that is a bit about backup and restore. So moving on now. Okay, so again, if you have any question, you can just ask away. All right, so moving on now, we're going to go back to our agenda here. So that is backup, restore, and Brighten Dev. Okay, the development site for Brighten. Okay, the link has been shared in the course, in the chat. All right, so moving on now to changing the layout. I know we cannot change the theme. The theme is going to be the same. All right. So what you can do is on an empty Brighten, definitely you can add activity or resources. Okay. Add an activity or resource. Okay. So normally you're going to be seeing this long list, okay, of activities. But there is this function. If you use it often, you can just click at the star here. Okay. You can star that activity, such as, for example, I want to start the forum. So by default, okay, when you click an activity or resource, you can see all of the start activity. So normally I add assessment, which is actually the quiz function. All right. The reason why we change it to assessment is because we don't want to confuse the student when we use tests, for example, or other term for assessment such as quiz and so on. So that's why in general it is just assessment, but it is actually quiz. And then I also start assignment because I normally include it in the Brighten course page. Folder forum has just been added just now or been started just now. And my favorite thing is label and page. All right. So when we have the Brighten, when we receive our Brighten, we log in and then we enter our course page. And then definitely the best thing to do or to put in resources is by using this label. All right, understandably, we can just edit. For example, this is a new week here. So you can just edit the week, and then you can put, for example, the description of the week. All right, so such as this is a study week, and probably you can write down, you can use the resources below to do revision. You can click Save Changes and it will appear here. So this is my common practice before knowing or understanding label. But the problem with this, I know it is actually having the same purpose as label. It's just that it cannot be moved from one week to the other, meaning that it is going to be fixed to that week. Okay, so if we use label, you can still put text. Okay, you can write text in the label, and then you can change it to other semesters. So for example, this is actually text. You can put the text in edit the week or edit the topic. But if you use label, you can move the text freely from one position to the other. All right. So let's say I want to move it below quiz 0. All right. Or I can also move it to other week. All right. So I can move it to the other week. Okay. So let's say I'm moving it to the first week here. All right. So using label is much more convenient because we can change it according to the placement that we want. Or you can just click at this button and then you can just click where you want to place it. If obviously your Brighten page is very long and there's so many content, so you can just go to where you want to put it. For example, after quiz 2. All right. So now task 1 of 3 here is placed at quiz 2 under this week of 30th October to 5th November. So if you want to move it again, you just click, or you can drag and drop. All right. So okay, so that is how you can change the placement of the text. Okay, so to do that, you go to the topic or the week that you want to add the label. All right, so you just click this button, add an activity or resource. Okay, and then again, if you don't star it, it's going to be showing you these sets of activities. So for me, it's rather time wasting to find the thing that I want to use. So that's why I star it, so that it's easier for me to find the activity that I want to include in the Brighten. So this is a label. All right. So you can not only put text, you can also put pictures, okay, or embed videos. Okay, so you can put pictures as well as embed videos and other HTML elements into the label. All right. So if it is just a text, you can just click save and return to course. And then as you can see here, this is going to be the label. So you can change it or move it to the other week. All right. So an example of label to be, in this case, created with, okay, inclusion of image. All right. So you're going to be seeing this view. All right. So this is again a label updating, as you can see, label. All right. You can write text. Okay. And then you can just put pictures. So click this toggle toolbar button. Okay. Show more button here. Okay. Toggle toolbar. Okay. Or show more button. All right. Okay. And then you can just click image to insert or edit image. Okay. So obviously to put text, you can just use your keyboard to include text. Okay. And then this is when you want to insert an image. Okay. And then if you want to go a bit more advanced, you can click at this HTML button. So the HTML button is where you can embed things. Okay. So you can return back to the text edit mode, okay, by clicking at this HTML button again. All right, so that is how you can add image. Okay, and then moving on, again, label. So this is also label. So I use Padlet for the class introduction. Okay, so because I want them to interact with this content, I embed it so that the activity is not going to appear as link. All right. So the activity is not going to appear as just a link. So meaning that if it is a link, understandable, it serves the purpose, but the student will be going into another tab or another open browser. Okay. If that is a link. So if you embed it, obviously it can interact on the content at the same page. All right. So again, this is label. All right. So again, edit setting. So this label is going to appear in this form. Okay. So again, you can click more button here. All right. And then click the HTML button. So this is the coding. So if, for example, you want to even embed YouTube video, all right, you can click share and then use the embed code or the HTML code, and then you just paste it here. All right. So that is an example. Like for example, if we take a look at this, okay, sorry. If this is the video that you want to embed, and in the YouTube, you can just go to click to share here, and then obviously the default option is going to be the link. All right. Obviously, we can do whatever we want to do on our Brighten page. So you can just, for example, you can just, I'm going to return back. Okay, so for example, I'm going to go here, and then you can just add an activity or resource. Okay, you can either click text or again label. All right, and then you can just paste the address. Okay. Okay, but okay, I don't know. Suddenly it appears to be in this embed form. All right, so again, edit setting. Okay. So okay, so this is going to be HTML coding. All right. Okay, go to the video and then embed function. Okay, and then you just copy here. All right, copy the embed HTML code. All right, and then you go to the Brighten course page again. And understandably, I know for some this is a rather fast pace or not fast. So I hope the intention is that hopefully you can get the idea and then explore it on your own. But if you feel that there's the need to explain further, you can just share in the chat. All right. So again, label is very versatile because it is not fixed. You can just change it to anywhere where that you want, or you can even just in this case you can even, I don't know what happened here. You can just even hide the label. So only hide here. Okay, hide the label here. So for example, it has been quite a long journey throughout the semester, and I feel there is no need to have this lengthy introduction. I can just click at the label, okay, and then just click hide, so that when the student view it at the middle of the semester, all right, the student is going to not see that introduction. Okay, so obviously you can go back to your normal role, okay, and then go back to the course. It still appear here, but it is not showing because it is hidden from the student. Okay, but the student will not be seeing that part, that introduction part. So I feel like label is important and very useful because of its flexibility of arrangement as well as visibility. So you can either obviously hide just a part of the text, because normally what we do is we hide the entire topic or we hide the entire week. All right. So any questions so far?
Ahmad,
Yeah,
nak
Nasha.
macam mana nak dapat yang link Padlet tu embed dia tu? Embed
Okay.
code dia.
Alright, okay. Boleh. Kejap saya tunjuk. Contoh, this is my Padlet. So normally we go to our universitytenaga.padlet, .org. Okay. And then something about Padlet here is that you have this share setting ni. Okay. You have to change the privacy to secret. Okay. Change privacy. There are 4 privacy setting. Normally it is private. Normally it's private, but private means that it's going to be difficult for people to access it. Okay, or you can change to organization wide. However, for this one, obviously the student can still access it, but they need to log in using their credential, using their account. All right. Sometimes when they are new to Unitan, the account is not being created. So obviously it's going to be a rather embarrassing thing, because we create this so that the student can for example, introduce themselves or do these collaborative efforts or activities. But because the account for the student has not been created, so they cannot log in because this requires the student to log in. So passwords means that you share, you set it according to the password that you created. So the student must have the password in order to access. So the best is put it to secret. So the visitor can, as you can see here, can write. Okay. By default, it is can read. Okay. So can write. Okay. But don't put can edit because if you put the one that is accessing the Padlet now can delete the previous post by others. So just put can write. Okay, and then to answer Nasha's question, okay, again, share, all right, and then here we have this option under this menu share, embed in your blog or your website. So you just see here this, I would say messy HTML coding, you just click copy, all right, copy, and then you go back to your Brighten course page. Okay, let's say at the very end here, add an activity or resource and then put label. Okay, don't just paste the HTML coding straight away. Click the show more button here and then click HTML. So with very, I would say, little understanding on the HTML programming, actually you can tell the placement of text and images and so on. So for a very simple embedding Padlet here, you can just paste the document and the HTML, okay, and then you can test the layout by clicking again the HTML button, meaning now you exit the HTML coding. All right, so this is what is going to appear in your Brighten. So you can just click, if you're okay with it, you can just click save and return to course. All right, so now this is again a label. All right, so with an embedded content. So you can embed YouTube video or even Padlet. Okay, so I'm showing with you an example of my much later, I would say, Brighten page. It doesn't really change from one semester to the other, but this is the much later semester Brighten course page. As you can see here, the scroll bar is quite long because I put everything. I have this crazy tendency to embed everything on the on the page. So this is for me at that time, I feel like okay, the student can view the activity and interact on the same page, but it is going to be tiring because it is a long browser. It's going to be a long page, right? So what you can do on that case is that instead of just embedding a label, you can play around with now I start to in this case use this function of page. All right, so this is an example of page. Okay, I'll show you after this. So this is a page. All right, so meaning that now we are creating a microsite, okay, a page, an additional page, so that it is intended for one purpose. For example, I'm giving the student additional resources or samples question, all right? So instead of having this showed on the main course page, so now it is going to be in a singular page. By the way, thank you, Anashra, for the question. I hope I answered your question just now. All right, so this is a page. So a page means that it is going to be compiled in a singular page. All right, so that is the idea. So another way is actually to create a book. Not really a published long book. It's just in the form of several pages. So this is another way. So for example, I am teaching physics. So everyone must have answered this kind of question. So questions have tendencies to be at several level, easy, medium, and hard. So this is an example. So I want them to interact on this image or interactive image here. So I have the explanation. Okay, so this is Genially, right, a tools that we can use in order to create interactive image. Okay. All right. So this is a book. So instead of a singular page, a page you can imagine just like a singular microsite. In this case, a page, a book means that it will consist of several pages. So student can go through, flip through the pages, okay, using this directional button here. Okay. So this is how a page and a book will be displayed. All right. So for me, this is a lot cleaner for the student because not everything is going to be displayed on a singular page. All right. So again, this is my much later Brighten page. Everything is on a singular Brighten page, course page here. So it is going to be quite tedious for the student to, and definitely for us as well, to scroll through until we are at the week or at the topic that we want to find. And then this causes a lot of actually difficulty to really manage the course. All right. Because understandably we start small and then we add things as we go, and then this is what a order would be like for a Brighten course page. So I reorganize it so that they are going to be in the form of either page or books. If it is simple, just a simple thing, I can just put it in just one page. All right. So let's take a look at how we can create a page. Understandably, okay. You can just click on an activity or resource again, and then you can just click at a page here. All right. And then this is where you can where you can put the description. All right. So this is an example of for example, Moodle training. All right. So you can put description. Okay. So obviously you can give instruction such as click on this page to view the resources or related documents related to Moodle training and so on. Okay, and then you have the options to display or not display the description, and then this is the page content. So this is where you play around. So for example, you feel like you want to, for example, you want to embed several things. You can just copy here, and then you can just embed. Okay, and then paste. Okay, one Padlet. Okay, and then let's say I want to also include this okay, this is a Padlet. So let's say I want to include another one, which is going to be Genially interactive content. So for example, this is an example of a Genially edit. I want to find the HTML codes here. All right, so again, I copy Control C. Sometimes using the function here may not work. Okay, just use Control C and Control V. So again, I go back to my page that I'm trying to set up. So actually, this is a Padlet. You can take a look at the HTML coding, and then you can just paste if this is going to be placed at the second part. Okay, and then just click the HTML button again, and then you can see the result here. And then if you're okay, you can just click save and return to course. So this is going to be the page. So meaning that at this week, right, Moodle training here, you can put text, definitely you can put label and so on, and then you can also embed things. So that is a page. All right. So you can also create books. So for a book, it is going to be just several more steps. Okay, so click add an activity or resource and then click book. All right, so the book here, again, you need to name the book. So let's say this is book 1, or for example, tutorial 1 or topic 1. Okay, and then you can click save and display for now. Okay, and then this is the chapter title. So this is, for example, introduction of the book. Okay, this is the first page. You can imagine this is the first page, and then this is the content for topic 1. Okay, so click save changes. All right, and then you can add more pages, okay, or chapter here, as you can see here. So let's say now we proceed to the second one, which is going to be literature review, for example. Now you can write a thesis in your Brighten. Okay, so click save changes. So now we have 2 pages in the book, and then we go back to our course page, okay, and then we scroll to the very end where we created the book, okay, and then now this is the first page, and then the student can flip or turn the page to the next one, and then this is going to be the second page. All right, so that is an example of pages and books. Okay, I've actually moved a bit fast here because actually I should have teach you on how to upload documents. All right, so there are several ways to upload document, definitely. So you can either, all right, okay, normally I like to use this way. So I just pin it to one side, okay, and then I can see my desktop, okay. So afterward, I can just drag and drop. So that is a way in order to upload a document. So as you can see here now, the document has been uploaded. So again, just like label, sometimes it can be quite messy because there's so many things that we do include or we upload in the Brighten course page. For example, let's say you want to give previous semester questions, okay, final exam question, for example, or test question. So there are several semesters and final answers that are provided. So in this, you can definitely upload it right straight away. Okay, or another way is actually just click an activity or resource and then click upload upload a file. Okay, you can upload a file. Okay, and then you can just find the file here. Okay, add the file. Okay, and then choose from your PC. Okay, and then afterwards you can just click save and return to course. Okay, so that is an example of adding file into the Brighten course page. Okay, another thing, if you want to be much more organized, you can create a folder. All right, so click an activity or resource and then click folder. Okay, I have folder just now. All right, folder. Okay, and then you can name the folder and then you can include files here, right? So you can put more files into the one folder. So it's going to be much more organized. So that is an example of ways in order to upload a document. All right, so up until this point, do you have any question? Probably some of you may use this function or the previous function that I've mentioned, and then there's some like issues or problems that occurs. Probably you might want to share with the rest, right? Or you want to ask question. Okay, I'm looking at the chat here. Thank you, Dr. Intan. Nice, tak pernah tahu function label. Yeah, so label tu, I normally write text as per usual. But after using label, I would say I I never edit the course or in this case the topic function lah. So for example, if we have this topic 1 or this week, so normally what I do is I did edit week and then I write it here. So this is where I put everything. The problem is that sometimes we want part of the content to be hidden and part of it to be visible to the student. But with that, you're now going to be hiding everything, okay, from the student because there's no flexibility here. So again, if you want to just edit something, you can just hide that particular level. Okay. Thank you as well, Dr. Saraswati. Wow, this is very interesting. Thank you. Okay, I have like, for example, doubt as well. Because this is so basic, I don't know what to teach actually. All right. I hope it is going to be useful. But as always, probably a disclaimer. Maybe this session will not totally resolve your issue with Brighten, but hopefully it can give you some ideas to work your issues. All right, when implementing your course in the Brighten page. All right. Thank you juga Kak Ayu. So far okay. Thank you, Betty. All right. So again, I want to do a bit of promotion. So this workshop is actually being organized by Madam Betty. All right. So there are 3 parts. Okay. Betty is going to share with you on input on the input of symbols and mathematical equations as well as calculated question. All right. So that's going to be on module 3. On module 2, you're going to be exposed to types of question. Okay, so there are so many types of question. Sometimes we have no time to explore those kind of questions. So please go to the second session with Dr. Jehana. Okay, so moving on now. Nashrah here has question. Is it possible to copy embedded copy from Mentimeter and
So amend the code. Typo.
tak faham.
Ah.
Boleh
Salah.
rasa Nashrah tapi saya tak pernah buat lah yang macam
Oh,
Mentimeter.
dengan Kahoot kan? Oh.
Cuba saya buka Mentimeter kejap. Contoh, okay. Mentimeter tak pernah pula. Kejap Macam mana nak embed tu?
Tak tahu. Tak pernah belajar. Tak pernah guna sistem embed lagi setakat ni.
Okay. Alright, okay. Saya cuba contoh kalau let's say saya nak buat satu Mentimeter. Alright. So, I click share. Yang saya tak pasti pula. So far dia ada tu je kan, ada link je kan? Maybe boleh embed live results ni. Kalau dah siap kan? Kan? Ataupun maybe saya share apa yang saya pernah buat. Yang macam ni. Okay, sample. And let's say we want to share. Ya, betul lah. Okay, thank you. Very nice question juga sebenarnya. Copy. Alright. Okay, and then I go to my course page. Okay, again, if you want to put things, embed things, alright, click add an activity or resource and then click label. Okay, and then you can click this show more button and then click HTML and then just Control C. Control V. Oh my God, Control. Okay. Copy. All right, and then I go back to the label, Control V. All right, so this is going to be the result. Okay. So it's going to be in a rather slideshow view. All right, so the result can be embedded or shared here. So this is an example of Mentimeter that I've used before. So as you can see here, okay. All right, okay. Yeah, so probably I answered your question, Ashra, tapi in the form of result lah. Okay, in the form of result. Okay, so for those who didn't know, Mentimeter or Menti.com is I would say an adult version of Kahoot. So Kahoot normally is a quiz-based application. Okay, so Mentimeter here is going to be how you pick your audience. For example, if you want to ask them question, if you want to know their feedback, okay, you can use this mentimeter.com. All right, okay, and then you can create sort of this voting or voting system lah. So for example, let's say previously I prepared this presentation. Okay, so you can create slides, okay, in the Mentimeter. Mentimeter is for editing. For the participant, it is menti.com. So for example, this is what I prepared for today, but because from one full day has been changed to 4 hours, so I'm not going to be using this. All right, so the student can, or the participant can interact, and they can answer which one of the options that you selected. Okay, and then they can also write in text into the presentation, so you can view it live. Okay. All right, so that is a bit about Mentimeter. So you can use that to interact more or online with the participant. Okay, so thank you Anasha for the question. Menarik juga. Nanti saya nak buat jugalah untuk aktiviti yang belum buat kan, because kalau dah buat kita boleh tunjuk result, tapi kalau belum buat kita tak tahu macam mana nak buat. Okay. Any question? Alright. Kahoot tak pernah cuba pula. Okay, so let's proceed now to the next part. Okay, tapi kalau ada question, tolonglah tanya sebab saya pun tak tahu nak cakap apa dah. Alright, so okay, so now we take a look at MetaLink. Alright, so we have MetaLink to combine section. And then secondly, we have manual or self-enrollment. Okay, yang ini sebenarnya nowadays we don't really use it. Before this, we use this heavily because we create the Moodle course page, and then we need to provide the link to the Moodle course page to our student through class notice. They click the link and then they join the Moodle course. Now, with Brighten, understandably it is Moodle based. We have vendors, external vendors that create the course page according to the student portal, online student portal, all right, according to the sections, and then the names of the student will be automatically included in the Brighten page. So it will refreshes and automatically adds in new student or updates, remove and add student automatically. I'm not sure of the frequency, okay, but probably around 1 or 2 hours to so that the change will make effect on your Brighten page. Okay, so and then the third part is going to be grouping, because I know sometimes we do group assignment, okay, and then we want the student to submit only one for their team, all right, and then this is rather important as well, all right, so that the student can actually the team leader can submit the document, but actually not just team leader, actually anyone in the team can submit document on behalf of the team. All right, so for the MetaLink, let's take a look at the reference here. Okay, so you can find this reference on the bottom page of the Brighten. Okay, so this is falls under the teacher guide. Okay, course meta link. The purpose is to combine section or link to all course code. All right, but normally we combine sections on that particular semester. For teacher that want to link two courses or more, they can link the two course using course meta link. We call it as meta link. All right, so what you have to do is you go to the course page, okay, and then obviously click this gear icon, okay, and then click more because it falls under the user. All right, so you will go to this course administration page and then click user and then click enrollment method. And in that, you can choose the method, which is course meta link, and then you can, in this case, create new group. Okay, so let's try to combine, or in this case, create meta link. So let's imagine I have two sections. So this is my first course page. Sorry, yeah. Okay, so this is my first section. All right, so this is my first section, and I want it to be combined to another, course page. Sekejap, eh. So I'm going to go to my courses. Let's imagine we have more than one section, more than one Brighten page. Right, so I'm going to click here. Tapi yang ini dah penuh kan? Sekejap, eh. Okay, so let's say I have two course page. Okay, so let's say I have two course page. All right, so this is the main section. Let's say this is section 1, and then this is going to be the one at the right here will be section 2. So the one at the right will be section 2, which is empty. All right, so this is the view that you will be seeing if this is at the very start of the semester. So you have several sections. Okay, so for section 1, you have done the backup and restore. So this is going to be the view that the student in section 1 can see. But because you want the section 2 to have the same kind of page view, for example, in this case, what you do is you go to the course page that you want to link. Okay, so the one that the later sections, such as section 2, 3, and so on, you click more, okay, and then you click user, and then you click enrollment method. So you can click choose. In this case, click course meta link. All right, okay, and then you need to search for this course. So you can search for this course according to this course name created. Okay, so this is the course that I want it to be linked to. All right, and then add to group. So you can either have those students into a new group, or you can just have it on their own, meaning that everyone is going to be in equal no grouping. All right, or you can just create new group. So meaning that they still falls under section 2 group. All right, and then you can click add method. Okay, so once this is done, what happened is the student from this course, when they enter the course, they are going to be automatically viewing the course in section 1. So if we pay close attention here at I know the screen is rather small. So if you pay attention to the URL, all right, so the original URL for section 1 here, we have brighten.unitan.edu and so on. And then the ID is 8393, which is here. All right, so that is for section 1. Normally, it is going to be in numerical order, meaning that for section 2, it will be 8394. That should be the normal standard procedure lah. So, however, for here, it is 12303. So that is the URL. So you don't have to worry. What happened is the URL that you share, the student will access the same URL, and then it will automatically going to be viewing this one, okay, 8393. So the URL doesn't change. So meaning that if you are sharing the same URL, okay, you can share it the same, and then it is applicable, even though at that time you haven't performed the meta link. So I hope you understand my explanation lah. So normally we share this link, or the student have this link because they are enrolled to that Brighten page, and then later on, or you find out about this function, which is meta link. Actually, for the meta link here, the URL will not going to be will not be affecting the student. So meaning that they can just still click at this course, and then they will be seeing this this course page. So that is how you perform meta link. So meaning that when you do meta link here, when you combine section, meaning that first, for section 1, you have performed backup and restore from previous semester. You don't have to do the same thing to section 2, 3, and so on. So you perform meta link, okay, and then that's it. So meaning that there's no further things to do. So when they go into the Brighten, they're going to be seeing this course page. So that is the idea. Okay, I hope you understand my explanation on this. Okay, kalau ada soalan ke? Tapi itulah, this is about meta link. Meta link is when we want to combine courses. Okay, so moving on now. While we're in this enrollment method, sometimes late registered student, all right, wonder why they haven't been enrolled into the Brighten course page. So what you can do is, again, you can go to the Brighten course page, okay, and then you click the gear icon, click more for the user function, all right? So click enrolled user, okay, and then here you can add participant. So in this case, you can click enroll user, and then you can use either their name, or it's better to use their student ID. So this is when you want to quickly add the student into the course page. And I repeat again, for this enrollment, actually, it will be automatically updated from time to time according to the online student record. So you don't have to do this. But if, for example, it takes too long for it to happen, to take place, you can just find the student, search, and then definitely it will give this too many response. So it's better to have the ID and then include it here, okay? So that is an example of how you can add the student, okay? So just click select user, okay, and then just type in the ID, okay, and then obviously just leave it as it is. Or if you want, for example, to add another lecturer into your course page, okay, so that they can edit the course as well, because, for example, you're co-teaching, what you can do is, again, you can just go through the same process, and then instead of typing the student ID, you can type in the lecturer's name. So, for example, if I want to add Nashra here, so I can add Nashra, okay, so Nur Nashra here, and then I can assign her role as admin, or lecturer. So for all of you, you're going to be seeing only 3 roles, such as here, student, non-editing teacher, and then lecturer. So student means that they cannot edit. And then obviously another layer of this access, okay? So non-editing teacher can do marking and can edit quizzes, if not mistaken, can view the grade book as well. And then the lecturer will have full authority on the course. So meaning that equally they can hide some sections or some blocks from the student view. Okay, so that is an example. So that is how you can actually manage your users, okay, or learners in the Brighten course page. And then if you feel like you want to delete the student, you can do that as well. All right, you can just select the student that you want to remove, and then you can, in this case, remove the student from the course page. Okay, so that is an example of managing the users, okay, in the course page. Okay. All right. So moving on now to grouping. Okay, so we're going to take a look at grouping now. So if we take a look at this course, kalau ada soalan boleh tanya okay, we go back to the course administration page, and then you click groups. Okay, something about group is that you have to create the group first before you can add the student. Okay, so in this case, everyone will fall into one same group. Okay, because of the setting, but originally this group is actually not will not be created. Okay, so there is no group viewed here. Okay, so what you have to do is you can create group. So let's say, because sometimes this is a very repetitive things, so what I do is I just put, for example, just simply group 1 or 01. Okay, if I have more than 10, so I just copy this part, and then no need for this. Okay, no need for description, no need for enrollment key, or you can have enrollment key, but no need for that. In this case, group messaging by default it is set by no, and then hide picture by default it is also no. Just click save changes, and then afterward you can add or remove user. So you can add or remove user. So let's say I want to add these first 3 students, so I click add. So now they are going to be in group 1. Okay, so so now we have group 1 here. Okay, and then obviously we have to create another group, which is going to be group 2. So group 2, again, just click save changes, and then afterward, what you have to do is click add or remove user, and then you have to find the student that you want to add into the group. So in this case, click one student and then click add, or you can just click shift click in order to select several students. So afterward, you can go back to groups. So now we have 2 groups, all right? Group 1 and group 2. And again, I know if you have more than, yeah, Dr. Vatana?
Okay, I'm just curious, yeah, because when you add the names just now, you put the first 3 and then the next 3. So if you're going to have add a lot of students, is there a way that you can actually compare about when you add students who already have their own groups, right? You just want to put them in this group.
Understand.
So you have you because when you go to the new group, right, you see the whole name list again there. So you don't know who has been added to the first group. Is there an easier way to see, like, who's been added to first group so that you can just stick the others into the second one? Is there a way to do that?
Okay.
What I mean is, I don't know whether I said it right, but if let's say you have a new group and you see the list is short, so it's not so bad. What if you have a list of 20 students or more? So when you have a new group, right, all the names appears again.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. Betul.
Is there a way to find out, like, is there a simpler way? Like, names have been added, you don't have to, it's not there again. If there is, that would be easier.
I think there is a way because I've dealt with this issue before, understandably, because if we have a very large class capacity, there's going to be a very long list of names here, and then definitely it's going to be quite difficult in order to choose which one is the group that the student have already intended to join. All right. So I think it falls under the group setting, which is under the course setting. So you go to the setting of the course, okay, and then you go to the grouping. You can set whether um they can have multiple groups. All right. So it is under group setting, if not mistaken. All right. So group mode, as you can see here, separate group or visible group. So normally I'm going to use a visible group so that they can see the other learners as well. Because if they are in separate groups, they are going to be only seeing each other. It means that if they are in the main course page, probably not this one, okay. If they are in the main course page, they are only going to be looking at the group members in the online users. So to answer Dr. V's question, it falls under the group setting here. Let me check.
Actually, it's not for them to see, for us to see when we are doing the grouping. I meant like when we are creating the groups, right? Is that what you understood? When you're creating the groups, right? You already create group 1. When you create group 2, all the names are there again.
Yeah, I understand. My point is,
okay.
if you already added them to group 1, the 3 students shouldn't be appearing in the
Yes,
group 2, right?
correct.
Options for group 2. So sekejap users, okay, groups. Group setting. I think it falls under this edit group setting, but I don't know why I cannot access it. Maybe it's hidden or no participant as of now. Yeah, edit group setting. Okay. Can I ask the others in the teams here if you have answers for that question? I also face the same I would say the same kind of issues when I handled a very large group of students. It's very rather tedious to add the student to the group. Okay, it's rather tedious to add it because it's going to be a very long list. So anyone have a solution for that? Probably it's something that I can look further later on, which is a very good question. Just now that lately with the student intake, I don't face that issue any longer because the class capacity also reduced to a very manageable number. So yeah, probably I can
Hi, sorry for interrupt, Rahmat.
yeah.
I think for this one, right, I do try before to group the students according to the respective group, especially the time during my lab sessions. So
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, lab
everything is
sessions.
everything is well managed. It's just like I found an error is that when the student upload the submissions and then the other group is receiving, we're supposed not to, which means like when you group a student, there's one student who submit the assignment. So the rest of the group members will be get the notification, which means that let's say you have 5 students, right? One student is submitted through the Brighten. The rest of 4 will actually automatically updated. Yeah, so within the rest of 4, no need to submit again. It's just that when I did the trial at the time, it makes the entire section student who receive the document. Yeah, we're supposed to be received by particulars group. Yeah, so I still trying to figure out what is the problem for that. And then for just now, you mentioned that why you cannot assign the group, right? I mean the member to your respective group is probably because of your class have no students. They must be enrolled student first, then only you can group it up. Yeah, I hope it's helping.
Yeah, thank you, Adrian. Yeah, correct. Probably because I don't have student yet in my Brighton, or they have been removed from my course page. Yeah. So later when I have student, I'll try to because I'm not teaching classes right now for special semester. Yeah, I'll try to take a look on this matter.
Okay. Sure.
Mm-mm,
Thanks. Later,
mm-mm.
maybe if there's anything you can update us. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, and then thank you, Adrian. And then for the second part of your sharing, Adrian, I'm not sure about that group setting, because in my experience, when I create this group submission for assignment, there's no issue on the entire class seeing the file. I think it falls under the setting of the assignment. All right. So if we can take a look at the assignment, if I'm mistaken, it falls under the setting of the assignment itself. So if we take a look at an assignment, assignment. Okay, so let's say if we edit the assignment setting, so click edit setting on the assignment. So we have these options to have a group submission setting. So under the group submission settings here, definitely student submit in groups. Okay, so you have to change it to yes here. All right. Require group to make submission. Okay. So yeah, correct. So this must also be set to yes. Okay, require group to make submission, because if the student still not assigned to a group, an individual can still submit the assignment. Okay, in this assignment module. All right. So moving on. Require all group member to submit? Definitely no, because normally we just need one document or one submission from one team or for one group. Okay, and then grouping for student group. Okay, so normally I don't use this method because it has this function to automatically set the group for the student that hasn't been assigned in that group. I'm not sure if that's a Moodle or Brighton glitch where a student submit and then the entire class can view the document. Probably we can look at that matter much closer later, Adrian. Okay.
Sure, no problem.
All right. Thank you, Adrian. And are there any other questions? Okay, so I think I have shown to you, demonstrated on how to create groups. Okay, and then first of all, you go to the gear icon menu on your course page. Okay, and then you click more to go to the user tab. Okay, click more user tab under the course administration, and then you click groups. First of all, you have to create groups manually, and then afterward you can add or remove user. All right, so you can add or remove user. okay, for each of the group. So this is an example based from the previous semester where I have a lot of students, and then I was trying to have this group submission, a total of 17 groups here. So the reason why I use that kind of numerical nomenclature because as you can see here, it follows this numerical order. So it should be group 01 if you have more than 10. So group 01, 02, and so on, because if not, you're not going to be seeing them in order. You're going to be seeing it in group 1, 10, 11, and so on. Then you're going to be seeing group 2 because it falls under that order, group space 2, and then that is going to be the sorting order. All right. So what you have to do is again, you create group, okay, and then from that you have to name the group, okay, and then click save changes, and then from that group. So normally what I did is I create all of this group first, okay, and then afterward I add users or I add students into the group, okay. So yeah, I'll try to take a look at those two issues from Dr. V and Adrian. Later on, maybe I can contact you personally if I found the solution for the issues. But thank you for the question. If anyone else have question on grouping here or not, we can proceed to the next part. Okay, how about it's already 10:30. Before we proceed to the next much tedious and longer part, I think can we have like a 5 minutes break? Okay, yeah, I see some thumbs up here. All right,
Okay.
okay. All right, thank you. We'll be seeing each other at 10:35. Okay, thank you. All right, so I'm back. Sorry for taking a bit long break just now. All right, so we're gonna start back. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen now. So just to share with you how I group my student. I don't force them into groups. What I did is I create this Padlet page, okay, and then the student can add themselves, okay, into which group. Sometimes they don't really know each other yet, okay, so they can just, I have set, for example, around, in this case, 17 groups, okay, so I have 17 groups here that I've created 17 columns, okay, so that the student can just click add, so they can add themselves into the groups. Understandably, if we do things online, sometimes they are shy, sometimes they don't know each other. So what you can do is you can actually create this kind of Padlet. Okay, sorry about the interference just now. So in order to create a group, okay, so what happened is I create a Padlet, all right? So this is the Padlet. So the Padlet, the empty Padlet is going to consist of one instruction column and then 17 additional empty columns. All right, so let's say we want to remake this Padlet. So this is how an empty Padlet will look like. Okay, so as you can see, okay, it should have, sorry, it should have all of the needed instruction. Okay, so I put instruction. Okay, all right, and then here I want them to be in a group of 6 students. Okay, and then I want them to add themselves into the group. So I just create these columns for each groups, okay, until 17 here. All right, so they can just click the plus button here to add themselves. So what happened in this particular semester is that student has the tendency to not be in group 1. So they put themselves in group 8, 9, and so on. Sometimes they are alone, so they just put themselves first into group, for example, group 6, okay, and then you can see other group has been filled by other student because they probably friends with each other, so they just put themselves quickly in the group. Okay, and then because we have this kind of I would say openness and flexibility, what happened is those students who are unassigned yet, they will put themselves in the group that is still not fully filled by the student. So when they still have slot, so they themselves put into the group. So I feel like in that way you can sort of give a bit of, options to the students, so they themselves adding themselves to the group. So the rest, as you can see here, have not uh, uh, have not responded. So because they have not responded, I just put them in the group. I just assign them in the group. So from this data, from this grouping, I can assign groups into the Brighten. So maybe this is a way that you can use in order to enforce groupings in the student. So you give this idea of flexibility and democracy when actually you want to solve an issue of regarding groupings here. So this is a way. Maybe you can take a look at the instruction here. All right. So I also give reasons why the student need to be in a group, because as mentioned here, they need to submit assignment in groups. All right. So I also give clear instructions. Okay. And then I also have probably not the best way to put the announcement at the very end of the Padlet. Okay, so this is announcement based on the updates on the groups. Okay, so probably you can use this Padlet not only to just introduce the student to the class, and probably use this in order to create groups. Okay, so that's an example. So now we're going to proceed to the next part, which is going to be regarding question bank management. So probably you have entered the question bank inside of your Brighten previously, all right? But there are several management method that you can use in order to organize and definitely manage your questions, because from the slides here, as you can see, from the screen here, as you can see, I've created a lot of question, be it multiple choice question, true, false, and so on. So I've created a lot of question. However, sometimes it's going to be very unorganized. It can be very easily get unorganized because you don't know which questions falls under which topic or which chapter. So everything is going to be in this one full folder, okay? Or one category actually. So because of that, I've use this kind of method to categorize the questions according to the subtopics. Okay, very small into subtopics. So for example, for topic 1 until 1.1 until 1.4, I have these sets of questions. So as you can see here, all right. So for topic 1, I've created around 4 plus 4 plus 14 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2. All right. So that are the numbers of questions. Okay, my friends probably are laughing right now because I'm not so good at math. Okay, so that is the numbers of question that is under topic 1. So particularly I put, for example, 1.1, there are 4 questions. Okay, 1.1a, because 1.1a here is related to the definition, all right, and 1.1b probably related to match question, okay, matching question, all right. So 1.2 falls under the subtopic of uncertainty, and then 1.3 is unit conversion and so on. Okay, so the reason why we apply these categories is because when we want to create a random question, we can actually make it in this conditions, okay, these two conditions. For example, as mentioned, let's say, just imagine the gray area here is the actual questions that the student can receive, will receive. Okay, so what happened is, let's say the first student is going to receive this question number 2, and another question is also question number 2. Belongs in 2 categories. So imagine the first categories is only asking about what is the definition of force, for example. Okay, and then the second one asks for application. Okay, so there are 2 type of question, but still under the same topic. Okay, so that's why I have these categories. So meaning that at first the question will be asked about definition, and then the second part is going to be regarding the application. Because I see a lot of practices where when the lecturer create a random question, the question is going to pick one question out of all of the question that you have in the question bank, meaning that the randomness will pick from one topic 1 up until the final topic, let's say topic 12. All right, so there's no, I would say, control there. So but you can control by using categories. So imagine this is the first student. So the first student will receive question 2 and 2, all right, that belongs in separate categories. Again, one is definition and another one is application. Or maybe you want to talk about, the first one is question regarding Australian dollar, and then another one is going to be Malaysian ringgit. All right, so moving on, the second student, okay, so we move, let's say for the second student now, the student is still going to be asked regarding definition, but instead of being asked about definition of force, maybe the question will be the definition of momentum. All right, okay, and then the application wise, okay, the question is going to be the random question is going to be picked from an actual question one. So we have this variety, all right? So this is, I'm not sure whether this is permutation or combination. I remember I used to be very good at this topic. Do we have any maths lecturer here? What kind of statistical term here? Is it combination or permutation? Anyone?
Yeah, kalau if you care about the order, it should be permutation lah. Kalau doesn't care about the order, it's a combination.
Hebatnya Nasha, betul. Sebab I googled that definition last night around 12 o'clock midnight. Because I was also confused whether it is permutation or combination. Yeah, if we care about the order or the placement, it is permutation. Okay, Nasha, thank you, Nasha. I think that is the right answer. Okay, all right. So that is the reason why we create groups. Okay, so if you haven't created the group or the categories yet in the question bank, no worries. It's rather easy to do that. Okay, so let's take a look at how we can manage or how we can categorize our question in our question bank. So, okay, all right. So now I'm going to share my screen and go to my Brighten page. Okay, so I'm going to my Brighten course page. So normally this is going to be the view that we're going to be seeing. Okay, and then you can click the gear icon. All right, so from this menu, all right, we haven't seen the options for the question bank. So click more and then scroll down and then click at the question bank. All right, so click at the question bank. You'll be seeing, for example, in this case, all of the 100 questions that you've created or more. I thought I created a lot of questions. I thought I can brag with this number, but I find out soon enough that most of you have created more than 100 questions inside of your question bank. So with that, okay, we can create this kind of hierarchy of categories or hierarchy of order. Okay, so we can take a look, for example, what is the questions in the 1.1a here. So click 1.1a, that is the category. So there are 4 questions here, which is a rather simple type of question, multiple choice. All right, so we can try to preview the question here. So choose a fundamental quantity from the options below. All right, so which is a rather simple question, but definitely you don't want to have that same question to be given to the same student when you want to create an assessment or a quiz. All right, so we want to have different question given to different student, but still having this control where the first question will be regarding definition as an example. Okay, first question definition, second question is application. All right, so what you can do is if you haven't done with this categorizing your question, definitely you will be seeing this large number of question in based from the course. Okay, so what you do is, okay, definitely it's going to be very difficult to scroll and find the question. Okay, so what you have to do is you go to the categories tab here at the top. Okay, the categories tab here at the top. Okay, and then you can add category. Okay, so this is how I somewhat organize my question bank. So as you can see here, I have under this subject, physics for diploma, I have these several categories. Okay, so to do that, you can add categories. So let's say it is going to be regarding question about definition. You can type more into the name, all right? Definition on topic 1, let's say. But I don't do that because it's going to be quite lengthy. So my common practice is just to create, for example, 1.1a. If I have more, then I put more on that numbers, okay, and then it is going to be according to the it is going to be according to the topic, okay. So for example, we have until 2.3, okay, but afterward I stopped categorizing the question because I only randomize the question up until 2.3, okay. But when I create question, I still have that kind of numerical naming, okay, nomenclature. So for example, if we set this question name, we sort according to the question name, you will see that my questions that I've created is going to be according to topic. So it starts with 1 here. I'm going to zoom in a bit. So it start with 1, okay, until the final topic. For example, it is going to be up until topic 8. Okay, so that is how I name the question. And then to do the categories, okay, so I've created one categories just now. Okay, so you click on the categories, okay, and then you scroll down and then you can add the category. But firstly, you have to name what is the category. I have the tendency to name the category according to the topic. Okay, so afterwards, you can see here, you can move the hierarchy of the files or of the category. Okay, so as you can see, you can move it up. So meaning that it is going to be the same level as the subject. That is an example. Okay, so that is an example of the question. Okay, definition of the topic here. Okay, so once you click at that category, you can imagine this is just like a file. So you can import question, all right, or create new question. Okay, so to add questions into the categories. Okay, wait. So let's say I have one question, one category already. So I can add question by going back to my question bank, the one that is having the most question. Okay, so you go back to your question bank and then you can select the question. Let's say I want to select a question from topic 8. Sorry, I'm going to scroll real fast now. So let's say I want to categorize now everything from topic 8. Okay, let's say from topic 8. Now it is going to be under one category. So I should have changed the category to be topic 8. All right, so let's say I want to move this. So I want to move this. So I select the question first. Not before I've created the categories. So you have to create the categories first, and then you go back to the biggest question bank, okay, and then you can move that question into that particular categories. All right. So you click that, okay, and then click move to. So now in that category, we're going to have 5 questions. All right, so we have 5 questions here, which is actually the selected question. As you can see, from 8.1 until 8.4. All right, so that falls under this category. So I repeat again. So if you go back to your question bank, all right, so from your course page, you click at the gear icon, click more, and then scroll down. You can either choose to click on the questions or categories, import, export, and so on. But you can also click at question bank. So the question bank is going to show the questions on this course. that's already created that in this course, but because we have the ability to do backup and restore, so that is why the category is going to be several, as you can see here, several categories, which is actually according to the Brighten course page. Okay, so let's say this is from, for example, this is from semester 2, and then this is from semester 1. So that can happen, okay, because we do several backups. Okay, so it will create these categories. Okay, so again, you can still manage. Okay, as you can see here, I have this default for physics diploma that is prior to Brighten. This is during the Moodle time. So I have this around 95 questions now. So uncategorized, so everything is in one folder or one category. So again, if you want to move it, first of all, create the categories, go to the categories tab, and then scroll down and then click add category. Okay, so you can put the topic, for example, or you can put in further naming such as definitions type of questions, or whatever you want to classify or categorize the question, and then you can click add category. Okay, so after you have created the category, you go back to the main question bank, okay, the main folder, and then choose which question that you want to move. All right, tick the questions that you want to move. All right, move to, okay, at the very end of the page, move to which category. Okay, so that is how you categorize, or in this case, hopefully try to manage the type of questions or the topic of questions here. And then with that being said, you can actually use random question with to its full potential, because let's take a look at one of my question. Let's say we're going to take a look at okay, midterm test here. Okay, so go to that assessment or quiz assessment. Okay, and then click at the gear icon, and then click edit assessment. All right, this is something that you will learn in the creating assessment. This is something that you will learn in the next module, and not in this module. For my module, it is actually mainly on the question bank. So the reason why I show this, because it is helpful, okay, when you want to um create the assessment later on in the second module with Dr. Jehana, okay, if you want to create random question, that is. All right, so this is how I create for page 1, for example, of the test. It will be of random question 1.1a, 1.1b, and a random 1.13. So from the very beginning, the student will see that the question that they receive is going to be different than the next student. Okay, so it in this case it reduces lah the copying lah between the student. That this is something that we can do in order to reduce copying. But again, creating random question here, we can control what kind of question according to the category. So the category, you can yourself define what does it mean, because for me, category is subtopic, but for you, it can be types of questions and so on. All right, so the options is yours. Okay, so with that, let's take a look an example of this midterm test. Okay, so let's say we take a look at the first attempt. Okay, so I've opened the preview at the second tab here, start attempt. Okay, and then for comparison purpose, so this is also going to create a preview. Okay, so we have two previews now. Okay, side by side. Okay, so as you can see here, let me start with a new preview. Kejap preview. Okay, so let's take a look at this side by side. So imagine the one at the left is going to be the view or the questions that the student number one received. And then the one at the left is going to be the question that the student number two received. So I'm quite shocked because we're seeing the same question at question one. Okay, and then let's take a look at question two. It should be different, right? It should be different from one attempt to another. Okay, so let's start a new attempt. Okay, all right. So for example, the first question for student one, it is going to be choose a fundamental quantity from the options below. So the options are volume, area, length, and energy. So for student number two, his or her question one is going to be, which pair includes a vector quantity and a scalar quantity? So it differs from one to the other. Definitely, this is a very low level kind of question. And then you can actually use this in a much more, I would say, advanced method. For example, let's take a look at the very, sorry, rosak pula. Maybe, this is because I've changed the category. Previously it's okay because it is still in the same category, but because I've changed the category, it has tendency to also modify assessments, okay? Categories of the question bank. Okay, so let's imagine we have an example. Let's say you are only creating a much smaller assessment, which is a quiz. Let's say we have this kind of question. Okay, so this is the first question. You give the information, all right, and then the second question is a follow-up question that uses the same information with the same question. Again, I'm going to start a new preview for this one. Okay, so the way that I created assessment, I not only use this randomness function, this random function, but also I also use calculated question. So as you can see here, student one received different values, 10.4 here. I hope you can see that value. And student number two received 9.7. And everything else is also differs from one another. So the numbers differs, and then the value is also different. Okay. So with that, the second follow-up question. So in this case, they are still the same. Maybe you can put also magnitude of vector A plus B, for example. Okay, an example, meaning that the first question they are going to be seeing the same one, but the second question they're going to be seeing the second follow-up question, all right, that chooses from the second category. So that is the idea why we have this question bank management. So as you can see here, again, I repeat this kind of situations. You can put, for example, the first questions to be definition and the second question to be applications. And then this is the question sets, the set of question for the first student. They receive the second question for both definition and application. And then for the second question, the student receive the third question and number one question, okay, respectively according to the categories. Okay, so with that, do you have any question regarding the categories here? Ada soalan tak berkenaan dengan categories? So for me, I really love this categories question because if we want to create a random assessment, a random question, it's still under our control lah. We still control the numbers, the type of question that is going to appear. Apa soalan ke? Okay, and the example that I've shown you just now, it doesn't have to be always a calculated question. Again, you can also create random question from um simple multiple choice question, okay, such as this one. So if again, if we repeat this kind of preview, let's say we want to take a look at another preview, start attempt. The third student is not going to be seeing the same kind of question. Okay, so this is an example of the third preview, or the third student is going to be seeing. Okay, and then again, this method is also applicable to a much more complicated question, such as the calculated question. Right, so it doesn't always have to be just applicable to simple type of question, which is multiple choice question, true, false, matching, and so on. Okay, so that is how you should be, managing your question bank. Probably you can do much better if you have a clear vision on how to define or categorize the questions in your question bank. Okay, so you go to your course page. Again, you can also move the question back and forth from the smaller category to the bigger category. Okay, just now I've shown you on how to move the question from bigger category to a smaller category, but you can also do the other way around. Okay, so you can just choose the question, okay, and then you can move it back to its original category. And don't get overwhelmed, understandably, because of this complicated view of my Brighten course page. I hope you will not get overwhelmed, because if you start to plan properly from now, you can manage it in a much more clearer and much effective way. Okay, so that is how you move question from one categories to the other. So even though you've moved the question from one categories to the other, you can still move it back to its original placement. Okay, and then another thing, you can create as well as delete or remove the categories if it is unnecessary. So for example, I don't need this categories, which is the definition on topic 1. For example, I just click delete. Okay, and then it will not appear back into the question banks. Okay, so that is regarding question bank management. Okay, so another thing, you can also only, in this case, move question not only from one categories to the other in one Brighten course page. You can also share the question. Okay, you can share the question with your partners, with your colleague. All right. So for example, let's take a look at one question here. Let's say you're very proud with your question because it is a rather advanced question. Let's say this is the question, which is a calculated question. All right, so this is one preview, and then let's say you preview it again. And then you want to share this question with your friend or with your colleague. So what you can do is you can just select that question. Right, you can see that V2 means that I've created it or edited it for several times. You can just click here, and then you can just click export as Moodle XML. All right, so I export it as Moodle XML. Okay, so this is the document. All right, so no worries about that. Okay, so we can go to other Brighten course page. So let's say the Brighten course page is going to be the other one. Okay. Imagine this is the Brighten course page of your friends. Okay, so what you can do is you can import, okay, and then you can import just a folder, only a folder. of questions. Sorry, go to the question bank first, more, and then go to the question bank. Okay, and then import. So import one question. So remember the format is XML format. Just click here and then choose a file, and then the file must be from your downloaded file. So choose that file, okay, and then you can just upload this file. So you are actually only now importing one question, okay? So that's the idea. So it means that you can share your question with your co-teaching partner, okay, for example, on his or her Brighten page, okay, without actually having to share the same account, okay? So you can still share even a much more complicated question by using this function. So as you can see here, we have successfully imported one question into this second Brighten page or your colleagues by Brighten page. Okay, so that is importing and exporting one question. Remember earlier in the workshop, I've mentioned we can also import and export the entire topic. So for example, you want to have the same quiz one for all of the sections taught by other lecturer. So you can just go to the quiz one here and then enter the quiz one attempt page, all right? Start attempt page, all right? And then you click at the gear icon, and then you can just, in this case, do the backup only for the quiz. All right, so let's say we're going to do this. Sorry, backup. Click backup. Okay, jump to final step. Okay, while waiting. All right, okay. So what I'm doing right now is I am going to transfer quiz one to, for example, another Brighten course page. You can, as you can see here, continue and then download the document. The document downloaded is here, which is actually for quiz one activity. So this is how the file has been named, activity quiz one. Okay, so you can download, and then you can share this downloaded file to your co-teaching partner or to your HOD, for example, head of department. So with that, you can just click here and then you can import. Okay, and then you can import and then you can choose the files. In this case, wait, right. So you go to this Brighten page or maybe your friend's Brighten page, and then not sure more. Okay, wait. Okay, so go to your course page and then okay, so you have to create the assessment, okay, and then from that, then you can actually import question, okay. So in this case, restore, and then choose a file. Okay, so normally we want to have, for example, the same kind of assessment, for example, quiz 1, the same quiz 2 for all of the sections that were taught by other lecturers. Okay, so okay, I forgot the steps just now, but roughly that should be the way. Okay, so you can just specifically export one assessment, okay, and then with that downloaded assessment file, you can ask the other lecturer to export it back. Sorry, to import it into their own Brighten course page. All right, so that is a bit about import and export regarding the question bank. With that, now we're going to take a look at gradings. So far, is everyone okay?
Still here.
Sorry, because I did a lot of changes, so I myself is a bit lost with my own Brighten. Okay, so with that, we're going to take a look now. Okay, at the next part, which is going to be regarding grading. Okay, so why it is important? Definitely because we have to understand that Moodle can be used not only for teaching and learning, but also course administration. So one of the usage is, for example, to record the students' participation in the class. Okay, and then you can also take student sample. Okay, for ISO file purposes. Okay, and then grading here, we have several parts. For assessment, it is not that difficult because assessment, the nature, it is of quiz nature, meaning that normally we don't have to do marking because we've set the question with its answer as well. Meaning that, for example, we have multiple choice question. We also have true false question, things that we need to do marking. For example, short essay question, okay, or a full long essay question. So that requires us to grade the assessment. Okay, so for assessment part, okay, definitely you can easily review and attempt. Most of you have already gone through this method of reviewing and attempt. But something that we look further later on is how we can adjust and modify. Okay, and then we can also sort the marks according to their first name or according to the highest grades. Okay, and then the most important part would say is overriding a mark. Okay, which is for one particular question. Let's say the student failed to answer it correctly. However, upon further investigation, for example, the student was confused with the question. Maybe the question was not set properly. So you can override. Instead of the student receiving 0 mark, you can give mark to the student even though the student answered the particular question incorrectly. All right, because the system we'll definitely mark it as or give 0 marks to that particular question, but you can override the mark. For example, give 2 marks or 100% of the marks to that particular student. All right. So moving on for assignment. All right. Definitely, most of you have also used this type of assessment. Okay. So in general type of assessment, which is assignment here. Okay. So grading is required. Okay, because it doesn't have the system doesn't really marks the submission. Okay. For assessment, we call it as attempt. When the student do the assessment, it is an attempt. For assignment, it depends on the submission. All right. So for the submission, the most important part would be on the grading part. Okay, and then marking part. Maybe you want to put right or tick mark. Okay, and then if you want to put marks in the PDF files, that is falls under notation. And then by default, okay, if you done this before, if you want to mark the assignment, by default, if you have given the marks, it will automatically notify the student. Okay, so some of the options on assignment as well is lock submission, unlock submission. And you can also download the selected submission. If you feel like grading it online is difficult, you can download the submission and then you do the marking offline, and then you enter the assignment module, and then you put the marks, you type in the marks manually. You can extend the assignment because definitely assessment and assignment are time-based assessment. All right, you can also allow another attempt. So one thing that us lecturers are quite afraid of is what happen if unexpected thing occurs during the assessment, for particularly on the quiz, because normally for the quiz or the assessment, it is going to be of shorter period, let's say 15 minutes or 1 hour. All right, but assignment normally it's going to be of 3 days, a week, because probably the question is much higher level, Bloom level, to the level of synthesizing, analyzing, and creating things. Okay, so the student requires a lot more time to process and answer the question and submit the assignment. All right, so you can allow another attempt, another submission. You can also override user, not only override mark. For quiz, let's say the student entered the quiz according to the time that has been graced to them. However, maybe because of the internet connection, they come out of the browser. They're being logged off from the Brighten course, for example, but the system has already registered them as having their first attempt, or that one attempt has already been considered. Okay, even before the student able to answer the questions. Okay, so it means that the student have used one attempt. So you can actually use user override system. So you can add new condition. For example, you can extend the time for the student to do the quiz, okay, or the assessment, and then you can also give more numbers of attempts allowed. Okay, so maybe the quiz that you have created allows only one time or one attempt for one student, maybe because of dengue fever or maybe this unfortunate circumstances. You can actually give more numbers of attempts, but questions of integrity and so on are beyond the scope of these workshops. Okay, all right, and then moving on to the third part of grading is actually to export the grades. Okay, normally it is going to be in Excel file, but it is going to be in CSV file. Okay, but it is still the same thing. So you can download the Excel file, and then you can actually remove unnecessary data, because understandably when we download the attempts for this assessment, what happened is there's so many things included, such as the start attempt time, and then when the student end the attempt, and then what is the what is the marks gained or obtained by the student for all of the question, which is going to be very a lot of unnecessary data, because most of the time we are only interested in knowing what is the total marks of the assessment. So we can trim those data down, and we can also save them. But to save them, probably most of you doesn't know. Okay, I'm guessing most already know on how to save the document, but you have to print and then print it as a PDF. So then it will download it into your laptop or PC. All right. Okay. And then the last part is going to be organize the exported grades and samples in Microsoft Excel. So we're going to take a look at the downloaded files, and we're going to take a look at how the marks is relevant to our student reporting. Okay, so these are the steps. Okay, we're going to take a look at assessment, assignment, and then we're going to export the document, and then definitely this applicable to the first two boxes here, print SPF. It means that you can download the student's attempt and then use it for ISO purpose, not only for the grades as mentioned, but also for the student sample for quiz 1, for example, and then for the assignment submission. Okay, so with that, we're going to take a look at assessment or quiz. Okay, in the Moodle time, it is called as quiz. All right, so if you take a look at this midterm test, okay, so for the midterm test that I've set just now, okay, so this is still under the activity of assessment. Okay, so if we take a look at this assessment, okay, so we're going to take a look at that assessment midterm test here. Okay, and then this is the setting. Okay, so you can allow how many attempts that you want. For example, definitely this is only of one attempt. Okay, and then what is going to be the duration? Okay, this is assessment close at what time? Okay, and then what is the time limit? Okay, so as you can see here, we have a total of 13 attempts. Okay, but while you're doing this, or after the assessment has already been carried out, sometimes obviously student will come with MCs and excuses of why they didn't attempted to do the question yet. So what you can do is go to that particular assessment, and then you can click at this user override. All right, so you can click at user overrides, okay, and then you can add user override here. So let's say, first of all, you have to put in the student's name. So, okay, let's say I want to give this student, so maybe Ahmad Daniel here for purpose of sharing here as an example. All right, so you can, or you can not opt for having password. Okay, but no worries, no need for password actually, because you have specified this is only for the student, which is Ahmad Daniel. So let's say in this case, the student didn't attempt to do the midterm test. Okay, so what happened is after the test has closed, okay, the rest of the class has attempted the midterm test. 1 week later, this student, Ahmad Daniel, contacted me and then said, oh, I have MC. Okay, so with that, I can just use user overrides here and then choose his name. And then what I have to do is I have to change the time of the assessment. Okay, and then you have to change because it's already been closed. So you have to extend only for this student. So no worries. Okay, and then the time is still going to be the same. The student is not going to have more than the allocated time. But as you can see here, you also need to include another attempt. So now it's going to be his second attempt. Probably if the student haven't picked into, or the student haven't attempted or entered the midterm test, you can leave it as 1 because the student have no attempt of the actual midterm test. But if, let's say, the student have attempted or see the question, okay, and then another case such as in the case of network instability of the network, maybe the student is being kicked out of the assessment, or out of the Brighten. So the system registers that the student has already attempted once of the assessment. So what you have to change is you have to change the numbers of attempts allowed. So in this case, you have to increase it to 2. Because number 1, it's a failed attempt because of the internet connectivity issues. Okay, so you can change that, and then afterward you can just click save, and then you don't have to do anything. You can just inform the student, Ahmad Daniel, you just go to the Brighten page and then just start to attempt. So he is going to go to the Brighten and then click again at the activity, which is the assessment or the midterm test here, and then click start attempt. Okay, so we don't have to do anything else. Okay, and then he can enter the assessment himself. Okay, so that is important. There are so many features actually that we can use. I also felt overwhelmed, quite scared that this kind of issues to happen when I implemented blended learning before, back in the very early stage of it, which is around 2016. But no worries, it can be done. The issue can be resolved by using this user override. So maybe more than one student is experiencing the same issues. You can just duplicate, copy here. Okay, and then you can just use the same parameters now to other students. So let's say from the name here, I'm going to add another one. So I click save. So these 2 students now is going to have the same new conditions where they have 2 attempts now, meaning that probably the first attempt is not going to be considered. So now the second attempt is going to be considered. So definitely, if the assessment has been closed, you have to modify, okay, the close of the assessment date. Okay, and then you have to click save. So okay, so that is how you create the that's how you create the changes. Okay, so let's say, as you can see here, the overrides have several, as you can see here, parameters. So for example, attempts, numbers of attempts, or when the assessment is closed. So you can change the variables here. Okay, so that is for user override. Okay, so I don't want to go into detail, okay, on assessment here, because my scope is definitely on grading the assessment. Okay, so let's take a look at the attempts. So this is what happened when the student has attempted or finished the assessment. Okay, so you can see here, this is the layout. Okay, so sometimes there's, as you can see here, there's so many information here, but we're mostly interested only in the final marks. So don't be too, I would say, scared or confused, because scrolling using your mouse wheel, okay, what happened is you're only going to be scrolling up and down. However, you still cannot see the student's name. So in this case, you can either zoom out, okay, you can zoom out using your browser setting. Now you can see what is the grade at this corner. Sorry, at this column. Okay, so another way is actually by okay by scrolling down a bit, and then at the very end here of the student's name, you can scroll it to the right. Okay, so this shows more columns. Okay, because I also got so scared of why suddenly I feel like my Brighten course page is having error here because I cannot see where is the mark. So don't worry, it happens to the best of us. So you just scroll down, and then at the very end here of the student's name, student's list, you can just scroll to the right. Okay, so it shows so many informations. That is why sometimes it's a bit laggy because it captures a lot of information, not only on when the student attempted to do the test, but also specifically on when the student attempted on each of the questions. So it captures what time that the student view the question, okay, and attempted to answer the question. All right, so obviously to manage this, because we have a lot of informations here, unnecessary probably. So obviously if there is more than one attempt, you can choose this. By default, everything here is going to be okay. By default, everything is going to be tick here, and then this one you can show only attempts that is highest, but this one it is not applicable because there is only one attempt. All right, so you can also remove unnecessary information if you don't want. For example, you can click no for marks of its question. So we're going to have a simpler view now. All right, so as you can see here, we still have the name, email address, the condition of the question finished, time started and completed, total attempt time, okay, and then what is the grade. So we have a much simpler view here. Okay, so without this setting, by default, if you download the document, you can just click download. Okay, definitely you're going to be able to obtain the Excel form of the file. So as you can see here, we have a lot of information. Okay, so we can expand each of the column. Okay, but then again, as you can see, it is not sorted. Definitely you can sort it in Excel, and then you can hide some of unnecessary information. Okay, select the column and then choose hide here. Okay, and then obviously hide the rest of it. Okay, and then now you have a much simpler view, which is the name as well as the grade. Again, this is very easy to do if you can just take this as it is if we have a very small number of students, but if it is a very large number of students, sometimes we need to trim down the information. All right, so as you can see here, maybe we can remove no marks for each question. We show report, we click show report. So now we don't have marks for each question. Okay, and then afterward, you can also sort the name according to their first name. So if you feel like now they are in alphabetically order, all right. So now if you feel like, okay, so this is the view and then this is the document that you want. So you can, if you're satisfied with the view here, all right, so you can click download the document. All right, so we have now the new document. So I'm opening another. So this is now a much simpler view of the Excel file. So I know it takes a bit more clicking or steps here to create this kind of form or this kind of Excel file, but this definitely is going to be very helpful if you want to key in the marks into another document, because obviously I don't think anyone uses this original document as their solid document or last or final document. So definitely you transfer this information into another Excel sheet. All right. So now they are in alphabetical order, and it's a lot easier to transfer the information to another document. All right. So that is about reviewing the attempt, okay, on the assessment. Obviously, you can do more. You can sort them according to their first name. All right. Now it's okay, or you can also sort according to the time, okay, how long the student required to answer the question. So now this is another kind of view. Okay, so as you can see here, the shortest is 38 minutes, and then the longest is going to be 1 hour and 29 minutes. Okay, so you can either also change it to preferences of having ascending or descending grades, okay, or marks, okay, out of 100 here, for example. And then you can download, and then you're going to be seeing another new document that is fitting to your browser view here. Okay. All right. So that is for assessment. Okay, let's now take a look at overriding marks. Okay, so if you have done your assessment, a quiz, for example, and then you feel like there is like this you want to go through their attempt, you can just click review attempt here. Okay, so you can take a look at the assessment navigation, and it shows here the student has obtained a full mark. Okay, so let's take a look at another student. Let's say we take a look at this student. Now, okay, so this is the review page of the attempt. All right, so we can see that for the student here, she requires 1 hour and 24 minutes. She utilizes almost 100% of the time. And then the marks that she received is 48 out of 51. And then with that, we have the assessment navigation. Afterward, as you can see here, we have one particular question that is incorrect. Okay, so let's say for this particular question, it is numerical question, okay, meaning that the student have to put in number, and then for example, let's say the numbers are almost the same, and then you feel like you want to grant her marks because initially she's off by around 100, okay, because the actual mark should be 1,200, but she answers 1,300, but you feel like that's a very strong, I would say, apa nama dia? Rounding up kan? Okay. So so let's say you want to still give the student marks, so you can just in this case click make comment or override mark. So you can give the marks to the student, okay, because now by the system, by default, it is wrong. That's why the student receives 0 out of 3. Okay, and then you can also put 3 out of 3 here for this particular question. Okay, and then you can just click save. All right, and then you have to close this browser or automatically close. All right, so this is for question 8, if you recall. So in the assessment navigation, all right, for question 8, now she received the full mark. So it is up to your discretion. If you want to give full marks, you can. And if you want to give half marks of the intended 3 marks here, you can also do that. It's up to you. And no worries, it will also appears in your Excel file after later on you download the Excel file. Okay, so these changes will take effect in the overall attempt as well. Okay, so that is the idea. All right, so you can override mark here. for assessment. So no worries. For me, it feels a bit rigid when we do things online. Everything need to be properly set up first before we can actually apply it to the student. However, that would be an ideal situation. In reality, we're always running out of time, and then testing wise, it's kind of like difficult. Probably we can do just very few reviews for preview, for example, of what the student will be saying. Okay. And then definitely it's not going to be perfect. Okay. And then, but remember, you can always edit things. Okay. For example, you can give user override to give them some new conditions such as numbers of attempts and what time that they can access it. Okay, so that is user override. Okay, and then you can also override the marks for each of the attempts. So to do that, you can go to the results here as well. You can click at the results, or you can take a look at you can click at the attempt button, go to that particular student. Okay, and then you can take a look at each of the question. Okay, and then you can go to the question and then make comment or override the mark. So this is the button. Click at that button, okay, and then change the marks here. You can also put comment, but I don't think anyone would see that comment. But if you enforce it, then probably the student may be interested in viewing the comment. But this is how you can change the marks, okay. Things can be changed accordingly, right? So you can use or user override as well as override mark. Okay, so that is the idea. Okay, so any questions so far? Let me check at the chat box. All right, so we have attendance form and evaluation form. Please answer the attendance form and evaluation form. Yeah. Lepas tu ada problem Yeah, TLU will email to you digital cert. Okay. Number 4. Okay, so probably there's some issue with the forms. You have to fill in, the name of the workshop. Okay, and then the workshop title, thank you, Radia. Workshop is creating and deploying assessments in Brighten Module 1. I left blank, okay. I think it is not that important to write the name of program. Probably, I'm not sure. But the most important part would be your full name as well as staff ID, right? Okay, any question on assessment just now?
Rahmat.
Yeah,
Dah.
yeah, handle.
Tadi yang pasal group tu, kan kalau kita create the group just now, student boleh tahu how student tahu dia group member dia siapa and so on. Kalau kita tak buat pedal lah, for example, sebab dia ada features auto group tu kan. Is it student boleh view siapa member dia?
Bagus juga soalan tu, betul. Tapi kita pun tak tahu macam mana student nampak kan bila kita dah assign group kan.
Itulah, tak tahu.
Okay.
Sorry, bukan bila dia dah masuk dalam dia punya group, dia nampak dia punya group members ke?
Where? Kat mana betul?
Kena tengok students view, I cannot remember, but when I assign the students to their groups, they know their members lah. They know who are the members, they can see. I never asked how. So I'm not so sure whether, because they also have a group in channel and Teams channel. So that's how, but I think they know because when they submit, only one member will submit, so they're aware lah. Have to check. Tapi I think they can see.
Itulah sebab kalau boleh macam ada sistem auto group tu macam smart lah kan.
Faham macam, yelah faham betul. Macam mana dia nak tahu dia belong to which group kan? Okay, ada jawapan daripada Reda. If I'm not mistaken, student boleh tengok sebab akan appear group number and team members. Student view saya tak pernah nampak pula, Reda. Tapi kalau as a lecturer, definitely kita tengok users, kita tahu di group mana kan. Tapi kalau student view, itulah kita wonder juga kan, what is the students punya view kan?
Hi, sorry, tadi tak jumpa mic. From what I heard from my students itself, they can see who is the members, and then they will also ask us whether siapa yang akan kena submit the assignment, either the whole team members or only one. So for that, I rasa memang diorang akan nampak team members tu siapa. One more thing that I perasan, kalau kita tak inform the students siapa yang kena submit, semua boleh submit, macam tu. So yeah, based on my experience before this lah. Tapi tak ada issue yang diorang tak nampak group members. They will know.
Faham. Maybe okay, faham. Maybe kalau dia masuk assignment tu kan, bila dia nak submit, maybe dia dah nampak kat
Yes,
situ siapa team.
they just boleh nampak team member sahaja. Orang lain memang tak akan nampak. They will just assignment, and then they akan masuk like assignment 2, for example, and then they will see the group names and also siapa team members, and they will ask us whether semua kena submit or the only PIC or the leader je yang akan kena submit. So kita decide on that part. So definitely they won't see others except group members.
Faham. Okay. Cuma itulah students punya view tu kita tak pernah nampak kan. Kita macam wonder tengok macam mana dia. Macam quiz tu kita tahulah kan, student quiz tu sama je lah, identical.
Tapi itulah. Tapi I can imagine how does it look lah, because kalau kita assign group members, kita akan nampak juga one assignment group tu kan. Alamak, I tak boleh buka pula Brighten iOS for now.
Okay.
Because
Faham.
so from what I see as well, dia akan nampak hanya assignment dan group members. Itu je. Macam kita akan nampak the whole students kan, but for them only group members and the assignment itself.
I think yeah. Maybe after they submit, then they know the members lah kan. Macam tu.
Betul.
Macam sebab they can add submission, right? So they can add submission, and then after they added the submission, they can see the submitted files too, and then they can see who belongs to that submission tu. Who are the students that belong to the submission. I can imagine that. Thank you, Radia, for the answer.
Okay. I'll take note. Nanti I minta student screenshot as well so that we can see on their part tu macam mana. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. V juga, and Nasha for the question. Ada soalan lain tak? Just sharing with you, this is another way to make the Brighten page to be a bit more interesting. So I've created some games. These are the activities in the Brighten that they can do. Okay, so for example, I created this assignment. The assignments requires them to do these games, and then the completed view of the game must be screen captured and then uploaded in the assignment module. Okay, so for example, this is the game for snakes and ladders. So you can put questions from obviously your question bank. Okay, and then for each correct attempt, the dice will be rolled. Okay, so if if we try to answer here, so it is wrong. So the marker here will not move. So let's try to guess. Yeah, okay. So now since the dice is as you can see here, now it moves 5 places. Okay, if the student answered the question correctly. So they have to do this until they reach the last or the final place here or the final position. So this is an interesting activities, okay, that the student can um can allocate their time, okay, the questions, okay. Okay, so but this is particularly on unit conversion lah, but you can obviously modify and choose the question that you want. Okay, so you can try to take a look at other games as well. All right, so there's so many games, and then one that I like the most, I would say, I forgot. Crossword puzzle. You can create crossword puzzle based on the terms. Okay, based on the definitions, terms of definition. Okay, so that is an example of games that you can create. Okay, so moving on now, since there's no question. Okay, so we're gonna proceed now to assignment. Okay, so for assignment, grading, notation, and notifying student. Okay, as mentioned, once you receive the submitted document, you can actually mark the assignment. But again, I don't have a sample here. Okay, I don't have a sample here because okay, so for example, this view all submissions. So okay, so this particular activity has actually not being enforced on this particular semester, so that's why there's no submission. Okay, so obviously if you have created assignment properly, okay, and then you've included, normally we include this question document lah, so that we can include document such as a PDF or a Word document of the question. All right, and then the student probably can use papers to answer the question, or they can type inside of the Word document, and then they have to upload or submit the document in the submission form. Okay, and then now once we've received the submission, we can grade them. So from this, this is going to be the view that you will be seeing. Okay, so you can see how many submissions, and actually the Brighten system is going to alert you on submission as well, and when to do the marking. And then from that submission here, you can see the name, obviously the email address, and then status here, you can see the files that has been submitted. Okay, and you can click at the submission. Okay, normally I tend to reduce the numbers of submission to be at most 5. Normally it requires around 3 je, files to be submitted, not more than 5. I don't like to have so many documents on a singular assignment. All right, so I can view and I can do notation with my iPad. Okay, to mark or to cross and to give comments. Okay, and then I can save it. Okay, and then at that notation view, you can see we have the parts section where we can put in the grades. Okay, but unfortunately, I didn't have submissions on this Brighten page. Okay, and then you can also grade them and outside of the notation view. Okay, all right, and you can mark them two ways lah. So whether you download the document, which is going to be appearing in this column, all right, at this fourth column here under status, all right. So you can download and then you can grade them, okay, or you can click on the submission and then the file is going to be viewed, okay, all right, and then we will have one column or one section to do the grading and also give comments. Okay, so those are the two ways in order to marks the assignment. Ada soalan ke? Okay, so as you can see here, by default, the system will notify the student once you have graded the system. Okay, but for me, I have the tendency to not notify the student and change these options to no. All right. Okay, and then something about the submission is that, okay, obviously you can extend, okay, grant extension of the dates, okay, according to the student. Okay, these are the options. You can lock submission, meaning that while the assignment is still open, you can lock submission because you want to freeze any new submission from the student. Okay, and then you can unlock the submission once, for example, the issue has been rectified. Okay, and then the student now can clearly understand this assignment, and then they now are allowed to submit. So you can unlock submissions. All right, you can do this during the assignment period. Okay, and then you can download selected submission that you can choose here. Okay, how many submission that you want to download. So you can download them in bulk. All right, download select submission, and then you can grant extension according to the student and allow another submission or another attempt here. Okay, so this is the viewing options. Okay, and then assignment per page, filter, and grading. All right, so I want to show you you can further, I would say, utilize your Brighten here to its higher potential if you create the assessment properly, and then you can in this case, sorry, we want to go to gradebook. Sorry, we want to take a look at the gradebook. Okay, so you can set the gradebook, okay, so that it's a lot easier for you to capture the carry marks. Okay, so this is an example lah. So the main folder or the main in this case set. So the rest is going to be subset. So the main set here is going to be physics for engineering. You can create subsets, for example, quizzes, for example, which consists of 2 here. All right, and then it also a subset of carry marks. Okay, so the set carry marks here, carry mark sets consists of 2 subsets, which is going to be quizzes and assignments. So if you take a look at this view, quizzes here, you can find the total, okay, all right, and then it can automatically calculate it. But because I didn't correctly, plan the assessment, what happened is sometimes we set the marks to be 10, sometimes by default it is 100, and then sometimes 20. So you have to modify the weightage, all right? Because if let's say quizzes is 15%, so you want 15% to be average out of the same 10 and 10 marks. So that's why the weightage, so the weights here, I put it as 0.1 so that it will multiply to 100 here. So it will neutralize to be the same as quiz 1, which is 10. So this is gradebook setup. So you can create new category just like the question bank, okay? And then obviously you can also exclude. So things that are not part of the assessment, not part of the carry marks, I call it as exercise. So it doesn't have any marks here. So everything here will not be considered as carry mark, okay? So afterwards, you can view the grade book for all of the participants. So in the end, you can see here what is the quiz total. Okay, and then what will be the total carry mark? So this is the carry marks. Okay, so this is an example of grade book. Probably you can take this as example. Okay, and then you can view this as something that is going to be useful. If you want to make sure your Moodle, your Brighten is going to capture the real carry mark of the student. Okay. We have reached now to the end of the session. So I open for Q&A before we end our workshop here. So any question that you want to ask?
Yeah, may I want to ask something like about the gradebook, right? Can we actually download and then after downloaded, what is the format? Is it in
Okay.
Excel or?
Yeah, it's going to be in Excel. All right. So this is going to be the view. Okay. So the grade book. Okay. You're going to take a look at the view and grader report for all participants, or you can choose particular participant. Okay. So and then afterwards you can download it, which is going to be the not sure grader report. Sorry, Adrian, I forgot. Hari tu I dah yakin je.
Yeah.
Dengan yakin je dah download ni. Um,
You want to download the gradebook, is it?
yeah.
Yeah.
You tekan import, export, yeah,
Export.
that one. Export, okay, express spreadsheet. You can ada banyak file.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, you
Thank
can choose,
you.
actually you can choose anything. You just want to download one assignment or the whole thing. You can also choose that one.
So thank you. So dia ada macam view tadi jugalah. Dia macam view tadi. Dia ada macam this assignment tu. What is the total? And then dia ada, tapi dia messy lah kan. Tapi betul lah. Maybe I have to I have to select the options
You
before I
need to
download.
select. Otherwise, it's going to be messy.
Correct.
Like
Okay.
just to ask, right? I'm so sorry. Like example, like for my class, right? I used to have like 4 to 5 quizzes, but I would choose the top 3 score. So
Betul.
definitely on my own platform, I mean my Excel, I would do the function call. So will these have this kind of what is it, feature?
I think it can, Adrian, because I've explored this before. Actually it can. You can either find the total tu kan for one bracket ataupun one category tu. You can edit it. Dia ada banyak pilihan sebenarnya. So I sebenarnya ada macam let's say kita create add category. So category total ni. So you can you can play
Customize.
around you can play around so dia ada macam jenis scale ke. Okay. Tapi ya kat sini lah sebenarnya dia boleh pilih yang highest ke macam gitu. Sebenarnya boleh.
Thank you.
All right, welcome. Any more question before we end the session? So while waiting for your question, probably I can wrap this up. Okay. So I hope my intention to share with you regarding basic management of Moodle has been achieved. Just I would say an overview lah, not really detailed sharing. Okay, so I hope you are very confident with doing backup and restore. Okay, and then I hope you have the idea on how to combine section. And then no worries, you can refer to the teacher's guide, which is actually available at the very bottom page of the Brighten. Okay, and then go next to the um to number 5 here for Metalink. All right. Um, any question you can ask me through my emails. Okay, and then I hope you understand why we do categorization of the question in question bank. But again, it's up to you on how you want to use this setting. You can even not do this setting if you don't want. But for me, the reason being is because I want to create a much more complicated random question instead of just a random question taking from a huge pile of question bank. All right. Okay, and then I hope you get the idea a bit on grading, and then obviously there's more usage of Brighten in terms of harnessing the students' participation as well as setting up grade book. Because understandably, because when we try to manage a class, sometimes we faced with difficult students. Sometimes this kind of system reduces that kind of difficult interaction or difficult situation because the system is already being placed there. Okay, so I'm opening the session now for Q&A. Any last question before we end?
Last.
Okay, boleh. Siapa
Nashra lagi.
Nashra.
Nashra, untuk Genially tu kan, ini tu subscribe ke?
Uh,
Pakai private account.
Boleh pakai private account. Dulu saya pun pakai private account for Genially ni kan. It is interesting sebenarnya because the limit tu I haven't seen the limit yet because it's very interesting to use Genially tu. And then obviously you can use it according to your to your subject accordingly. Genially tu sebenarnya you boleh pakai apa nama dia, free punya account, tapi dia punya limitation tu tak beza sangat dengan yang subscribe. Yes, to answer your question, we do subscribe to Genially, tapi the numbers to account is very limited. So for now it is only open for blended learning agent macam tu. Tapi masa saya guna dulu yang macam ni pun saya buat ni, saya buat ni masa ni saya tak pakai tu lagi Genially pun tak dapat Genially Education ni pun sebenarnya. So banyak je function yang boleh. Dia tak banyak beza sangat. Nashra.
Yeah.
Kalau you rasa confident macam need more kan, macam maybe boleh
Tak ada.
email kepada tu.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you.
Welcome. Thank you for question. Thank you Nashra. Banyak soalan hari ni. I appreciate your question. Okay. So I guess that's all for today. Thank you everyone. I'm sorry for any, lacking in this session because at first it was meant to be physical and then it was supposedly a full day course and then I have to compress it to just 4 hours. So I hope with the delivery, you get the sense on how to manage your Brighten page, and then please contact TLC if you're interested in the second and the third Brighten workshops. Okay. All right. With that, I thank you all and then give back the floor to Teaching and Learning Center admin. Okay,
Before Dr. Zaman, I think I just to thank Mr. Rahmat for your delivery, right? So I think it has greatly assisted us like in recapping all the essential feature offered by the Brighten. Because like initially I not about me myself, I think I believe that it would be straightforward to be used the Brighten, but it's turned out to be more challenging than we anticipated. So thanks for your the valuable input that we learned today.
Thank you, Adrian, for that remarks. Yes, I think it depends on how you want to use it. It's like Photoshop. You can do a lot of things, but obviously we prefer a much simpler, navigation things. So we can do a lot of things using Brighten, and there's a lot of resources online for you to refer to. But in the end, my point for today is that you can modify or tailor-made your Brighten just according to your course and then according to your teaching style. It doesn't have to be following your peers, okay, or even mine. Okay. Anything else? All right.
Thank you, Rahmat. Some of the topic that you have touched, kami dah buat. Ada yang kami tak buat, tapi at the moment kami faham. Cuma nanti I got the feeling bila kami try to implement, I'll come up with, I will face with some technical problems. Nanti kami cari Rahmat. Thank you.
Boleh. Saya memang always excited sebenarnya kalau orang tanya pasal Brighten kan, saya macam boleh tak kita buat Teams meeting sebenarnya. Sebenarnya lah kalau saya lah memang honestly okay, kalau apa-apa soalan from Kak May ke ataupun anyone, just do lah, just email me,
Okay.
contact me.
I will do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kak May, for your time. I appreciate it. Okay. All right. I guess that's all for today. Just I mentioned, any problem you can contact me or other blended learning agent. All right. So with that, thank you everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and definitely have a nice day.
Okay, terima kasih sahabat Ahmad.
Terima
And all sahabat. So
kasih.
pastikan isi borang attendance dengan evaluation. Sebab cert, digital cert kita akan bagi merujuk pada attendance dan evaluation. Okay, thank you sahabat. All sahabat. Jumpa lagi.
Thank you, Dr. Zaman.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doctor. Sahabat Rahmat, we here.
Yeah.
Okay, regarding some of this, right? Because a lot of these quizzes and all you explained were for undergrad kan, sebab